Album sales are a good indicator of how many people are truly fans of an artist, as opposed to just enjoying the occasional song by that musician. All of the world's most popular musicians have sold millions of records to their devoted fan bases. They continue to be well liked even in the age of music streaming, when listeners can select individual tracks rather than entire albums for listening pleasure. Today, we are going to talk about the top 10 most sold records of all time. The popularity of music albums is the finest example of how appreciating a song by a certain artist differs from becoming a fan of the artist in general. The world's millions of admirers of the greatest musicians all purchased millions of records from them. They continue to be well liked even today, when music streaming allows fans to select certain songs rather than downloading entire albums. 10. Alanis Morissette. Jagged Little Pill, certified sales, 24.3 million. One of my favourite albums, Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette, is deserving of its position as the best-selling album in history. Jagged Little Pill is incredibly excellent. On You Oughta Know, Flea, one of the greatest bassists of all time from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, supported Alanis Morissette with a top-notch ensemble. It was released in 1995 and is exclusively an alternative rock album at a time when that genre was in vogue. It was also her first release outside of the new jack swing and dance pop genres. It ultimately received 9 Grammy Award nominations, taking home 5 of them, including Album of the Year. Until Taylor Swift broke the record at age 20. She was the youngest winner at age 21. Definitely one of my desert island albums. In my opinion, everyone should become familiar with it. 9. Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon, 24.8 million. It should come as no surprise that The Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd is among the best-selling albums of all time. Pink Floyd released the enormously popular progressive rock album The Dark Side of the Moon in 1973. It took a while because it was their 8th studio album. This concept CD made use of numerous experimental ways to produce previously unheard sounds. Sales have increased as a result of numerous remasters and re-releases. It garnered nearly all perfect ratings from the critics, and retrospectively it still does. The band's members are some of the wealthiest musicians in the world, and they even used the revenues to pay for the film's development Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Due to the several musicians who continue to release covers of the complete album, the album still generates 10,000 sales every week. 8. Adele, 21. Sold copies, 26.4 million. Even though Adele's 21 was only her second album, it quickly rose the charts thanks to numerous excellent hits, becoming one of the best-selling albums of all time. Adele's second album, 21, which was released in 2011 and is in the pop and soul genres, seemed to appear out of nowhere in the United States. The record company had minimal hopes, but it exceeded them, topping the charts in over 30 nations, remaining the best-selling album for 2 straight years, and becoming the biggest seller of the 21st century. Each of its 5 singles, 3 of them peaked at the top of international single charts. The Grammy Award for Album of the Year, the Brit Award for the British Album of the Year, and numerous more awards went to it. Even the reviewers agreed that it was good enough to avoid feigning dislike in effort to garner attention. 7. Fleetwood Mac, Rumours, 29.3 million. Rumours, an excellent collection of songs from Fleetwood Mac, is their best-selling album in their discography by a wide margin. Rumours was released by Fleetwood Mac in 1997 for the soft rock audience, but it was immediately popular with everyone. 4 of its songs, including Go Your Own Way and Dreams, entered the US top 10 and reached the top of the Billboard 200 and UK album charts. Both the National Recording Registry and the Grammy Hall of Fame have inducted the album. Because of how well the record did, the media began fabricating stories about the band members to gain more attention. It received advance orders of 800,000 copies before it was even published. They conducted a 7-month tour of the USA to bolster the sales. It was a huge success. 6. Shania Twain, Come On Over, 29.9 million. Shania Twain is a phenomenal country crossover performer who has recorded some of the greatest pop singles ever. Her best work is on the album Come On Over. Shania Twain is a well-known country crossover performer who also does pop music. Her 1997 album Come On Over is now quite high on this list because she was so popular at the time. At one point, it was impossible to turn on the radio without hearing a Shania song. The best-selling country album of all time was this one. Well, do you like what you're seeing so far? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep watching because you don't want to miss what we have at the number 1 spot. 5. Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin 4, 30.4 million copies sold. Their best work, Led Zeppelin 4, was released in 1971 and concentrated on hard rock, folk rock, and early heavy metal sounds. Although it didn't have a name, some fans referred to it as Zozo because of the 4 symbols that each band member selected and were printed on the record sleeve. That prank contributed to the album's aura of mystery. On the Billboard 200, the album barely peaked at number 2. Numerous times, most recently in 2014, it has been reprinted and reissued, boosting sales. The only 8 tunes on this CD were all excellent, which is the nicest kind of album. Filler songs on a record are completely unnecessary. 4. Bad. 44.4 million copies sold. Only Michael Jackson, sometimes known as the King of Pop, has 2 albums that are still among the best-selling top 10 albums in history. Jackson's Bad album, which has sold more than 44 million copies worldwide, even cracked the top 5. The long-awaited 7th album by Michael Jackson was finally released in 1987, immediately after Thriller. The Bad album was recorded by Jackson over the course of about 3.5 years. 3. The Bodyguard. 45.3 million copies sold. The 4th best-selling CD in history is the official soundtrack of the 1992 film The Bodyguard. The record becomes the most popular soundtrack CD ever as a result. The album, which primarily includes the American singer Whitney Houston, who also had a major role in the film, sold almost 45 million copies worldwide. However, the album also featured contributions from various other musicians, including English singers Joe Cocker and Lisa Stansfield. However, the album is most well known for the number 1 single, I Will Always Love You. One of the most well-known songs in history was performed by Whitney Houston and was a song originally written by American country music star Dolly Parton. 2. AC/DC, Back in Black. The 2nd best-selling album of all time is Back in Black. The hard rock band AC/DC from Australia released their 7th album with it. Around 51 million copies of the record, which was released in July 1980, were sold worldwide. The album was first released following the tragic death of the band's lead vocalist, Ronald Scott, in February 1980 after he drank himself to death at the age of 33 from alcohol poisoning. Brian Johnson, who joined the group as the new lead vocalist in April of the same year as Scott, took Scott's position. Back in Black was written as a tribute to Scott and recorded in just 2 months. 1. Thriller. 67 million copies sold. The album Thriller by Michael Jackson has sold the most copies in music history. Jackson has sold about 67 million copies of the top album, making him the 2nd best-selling solo musician of all time. In 1982 saw the release of Thriller, Michael Jackson's 6th studio album overall. 7 singles were released from the album, including the number 1 single, Thriller, Beat It, Wanna Be Startin' Something, and Billie Jean, which went on to become Jackson's best-selling single overall. So, that's it for today's video. What are your thoughts on our video? Please let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications to our channel before you go. Thank you so much for watching.